Hello everybody out there in the bookverse, it's Stephanie, and today I am back with another book haul. I have a lot of books to talk about this time. It's kind of crazy. I think I had no restraint about book buying, and some of my special editions that I had ordered before are coming in, so we have quite a few books to talk about here. Let me count real quick and I'll let you know how many. 44 books. That's a lot. Whew. I need to make more room on my shelves. There's probably going to be an unhaul coming soon. But yeah, this is going to be a long video anyway, so let's just go ahead and jump into the books. The first three books I'm going to talk about I bought for a specific vlog that I did, and those are People We Meet on Vacation, Book Lovers, and Beach Read, all by Emily Henry. That vlog should have already gone up, so I will link that up above, whichever side it's on, and down below if you guys want to check that out as well. I have already read all of these. I had a lot of fun doing this vlog. I really enjoyed it. I think Emily Henry has great writing style. These are adult romance books, and they were a good time. So definitely glad that I purchased all of these, and I really like how they look. I feel like that's something that romance readers get quite a bit of, is this very colorful look to them. So maybe I'll start making a shelf that's romance so I can have a colorful shelf. On just a random trip to Barnes & Noble, I picked up For the Throne by Hannah Whitten. This is the second book in her Wilderwood duology, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. And I read the first book, For the Wolf, last year. It was actually one of my subscriber picks. You guys are the ones who chose this, the first one for me to read, and I'm really excited to get to the second one. I did enjoy the first one. This is a kind of new adult fantasy romance. The first one follows Red, who is the second sister. So she is the second born of royalty, and so she is supposed to be given to the wolf of these woods in order to appease them so that the woods don't come out and essentially kill her people. And I believe this one follows her sister, who was the one meant for the throne. So I have high hopes for this one. I've heard that it's a great conclusion and it really wraps it up well, and she does a really good job with it. I also love the covers because they do this like Google Lens thing, and that you can see things happen on them, which I really like. I like these end pages because they match the other ones. So yeah, really excited to jump into this book. It's probably going to be a fall read for me. Next up, we have Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. This is a short novel. I believe it's considered a novel and not a novella. It's just about 240 pages. I have not read this, but I've heard really good things about it. My friend Abby read it and really enjoyed it. She read it actually during the 48-hour readathon that I did, and I was tempted to throw this one on as well, but I actually did buy it for that readathon because it is shorter. But it's a dark fantasy. I really don't know much more than that. I think it kind of has a dark fairy tale feel to it, which I absolutely love. So definitely excited to get to this one, and I'm probably going to save it for some sort of a readathon because it is so short. So I really wanted to collect the UK version of these books, but I didn't know if I'd be able to get the second one. So I ordered it off Abe's Books, and that is The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. This is the second book in his Kingkiller Chronicles, and I feel like it's in pretty decent shape. There's a little bit of wear and tear to it, but overall, I like the way it looks. I might eventually try to find a better copy, one that's in a little bit better shape, but for now I'm really pleased with it, and I wanted to make sure that I could get the second one before I even bothered getting the first one, because that one's a lot easier to obtain. But I love this series so much. I actually have already read the first and second books in this. The first one is The Name of the Wind, and I absolutely love his writing style. I like the magical university setting. I think this is one of the most amazing fantasy series, but it is unfinished, and I feel that it's probably never going to be finished. I hope it is. I really would love for it to be, but my hopes are fairly low at this point that this series is ever going to be finished. So if you do decide to jump into these books, just keep that in mind. If you're a person who does not like that open-endedness or that kind of not knowing whether you're going to be able to read the end of the story, this series might not be for you, but I absolutely love it. I could not resist picking this up when I saw it at Barnes & Noble. It is one of my most anticipated releases, which is insane because I haven't even read the first 2 books in this trilogy. That is Lachlans by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is the 3rd and final book in his Founders trilogy, the first one being Foundryside. I am hosting a channel read-along of this, actually. We are going to be reading Foundryside this month in August, and then September is going to be Shorefall, and October we are going to be reading Lachlans. This is my birthday month in October, so I'm really hoping that I love this series, that I love this book, but oh, look at the cover. It's just stunning. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I'm really excited to jump into this. I hear the magic system is really interesting and intriguing. It's kind of like magical coding. There's a heist aspect to it, and I really, really loved Robert Jackson Bennett's other series, his Divine Cities trilogy. It's like City of Miracles, City of Blades, and City of Swords, maybe? Gosh. City of Stairs, City of Blades, and City of Miracles. They're down below. So I'm really hoping to love this series as well. I feel very confident saying that I will love it because people who love Mistborn have said that this is one that I would love. So I'm really looking forward to this. Definitely come join if you want to. There's a Discord down below if you want to chat over there, and I will be doing live shows for each of these books. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. And I have some continuations of a series that I have been reading, and there are 3 more books from the Throne of Glass series. I have Queen of Shadows, Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash. Empire of Storms is still in the mail, so it'll be getting here soon. I had Queen of Shadows for quite a while because it's the next one I need to read within the series, but then I saw Sarah J. Maas post that the new covers are coming out for this series, and I did not want to not have a matching hardback set of the series. So literally the day she posted that, I ordered the rest of the books. So I now will have this entire series in hardback matching, and I just don't want them to stop printing them like they did with the ACOTAR books, and I would have a mismatched set. That would drive me absolutely nuts. I would hate it. And so now I have the rest of this series. This is kind of a new adult / young adult fantasy. I would say it's a fantasy romance. I know a lot of people would say it's not, but I think the romance has such a strong influence on the plot, and I think it is written in more of a fantasy romance style that I would call it fantasy romance. But I've been liking it pretty well so far. I think I would have liked it better if I would have read it when I was younger, honestly. But it still is a good time, and I do want to kind of have read it because it's very popular on all the bookdernet, and I want to see what the hype's about. And also people bawl when they read Kingdom of Ash, so I am hoping to be emotionally wrecked by this series as well. The next few books are my cover buy books of 2022. Every year, my husband and I go to Barnes & Noble and we pick out books solely based on the covers, not really knowing anything about the books, or even if we do know about the books, we are just picking them out based on the covers. So one of those books is The Thousand Deaths of Ardor Ben by Tyler Whitesides. I really don't know anything about this book. This was in the stack of options chosen by my husband, and I picked out of that stack, and I just think the artwork is gorgeous. That city, the light on it, I love this cover so much. I'm a little disappointed that you can't get this cover in hardback because I prefer hardback. Plus, it's a little bit of like a smaller, like it's a normal size paperback, but I'd prefer it to be a little bit larger since it is so thick. I like the long ones, like The Faithful and the Fallen, to come in a bigger size. I just feel like it makes them sturdier. I don't know. But I'm really looking forward to reading this. It's adult high fantasy, and that's really about all I know besides the cover is stunning. The next one, I had like 5 or 6 choices, and my husband chose which one he thought was the most beautiful out of those, and the winner was The Liar's Knot by M.A. Carrick. I really do enjoy this cover. I think it's subtle enough, but it still has that opulent feel to it to really draw the eye. I have not read the first one in this series, The Mask of Mirrors. It is adult high fantasy. I hear there's quite a bit of political intrigue. I think there is a character who is pretending to be related to this noble family in order to get in with them and kind of raise her station. But what she doesn't know is that family is actually kind of struggling to maintain their position, and I'm really looking forward to it. I have heard really great things from my friend Angela from Literature Science Alliance. She absolutely loves the series, and so I really, really want to read it, but I would love to have the entire series out so I could potentially binge it. I think I am enjoying binging series lately and just books in general, and I would kind of like to be able to do that with this series, if at all possible. They are pretty long though, so I don't know how bingeable this series would be, but I would like to try. And the final book from that particular trip, my husband and I both came up with options that we gave to my Instagram followers, and they all got to vote on which cover they thought was the most beautiful, and the winner was All the Seas of the World by Guy Gavriel Kay. And y'all picked very, very well. I think this book is stunning. The colors are gorgeous. I absolutely love it. I have no idea what this is about, and I don't even know if I'm going to enjoy it because I've never read anything by Guy Gavriel Kay, but I feel like he's fairly hit or miss with people. But I just love this cover enough that I would get it anyways. It's just stunning. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's perfect, and I'm really excited to just have this on my shelf. And the final kind of cover buy, I went to Barnes & Noble with my niece when she was here visiting. I picked out some options and she chose what she thought the most beautiful one was. And she decided to go with Ordinary Monsters by J.M. Miro. I think this is a great choice. Look at how pretty it is. It's just simple yet eye-catching, and I really like the reflectiveness of this window. It definitely gives me Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell vibes for sure. I mean, look at the spine. Obviously it's intentional. It can't be that close, not intentionally. I don't think, no, there's not really anything on the reverse side, but this one is a historical fantasy, and I'm really looking forward to it. I do tend to enjoy historical fantasies quite a bit, so this is one that I have very, very high hopes for. I've seen quite a few people reading it on TikTok and enjoying it. So yeah, I'm definitely going to give this one a try, but it does feel like more of a fall-winter read to me. I don't know why, but those are the vibes I'm getting, so that's probably when I'm going to be reading this. I'm now going to jump into the section of this book haul of books that I got while I was on vacation. I went to vacation in Europe for about 2.5 weeks last month in July, and I picked up some books. So I'm really excited to show you what I got. I got The War of the Dwarves by Marcus Heitz. I actually picked this up at a used bookstore in Munich, Germany, and it is in English, which is nice, but this is a German author, so it was translated into English, which is kind of cool. I thought that was really kind of special to get a book by a German author while I was in Germany, even though it is in English, so I can read it. But this is the second book in this series. I do need to get the first one, but the first one, the copies that I have seen are like smaller and thicker, almost like a mass market paperback. And this is a beautiful floppy paperback, and I definitely want the entire series in this version. This is by Orbit and published in the United States, and the only version of the first one I can find is the Orbit version published in the UK. So if anyone has any idea how I can obtain the first book in the series in this version, please let me know. I believe it was published in 2009, Orbit United States Publishing, but I can't have them mismatched. It will drive me absolutely nuts. But I'm really looking forward to this adult high fantasy following dwarves. I've never really read one where the dwarves were the main focus of it. I feel like they've always kind of been secondary characters. So yeah, definitely looking forward to jumping into this. I think it's probably going to be dark and gritty, and I'm excited for it. We also went to Edinburgh, Scotland, and I went to, oh gosh, what was it called? Blackwell's, and it was the oldest location of a bookstore in Edinburgh, which is kind of cool. And I picked up Rivers of London by Ben Aaronovitch. I totally could have butchered that, but this version is just so pretty. I think it's a special edition, and I really, really like it. It has special end papers with maps, and I'm really looking forward to this because after I purchased this, we were staying with some of my husband's friends in London area, and this was one that she recommended to me, so I excited to jump into it. I am hoping it's going to be awesome. I've seen this series around quite a bit, but I've never seen this version before going to the UK, so I think this is going to be a whole lot of fun. It's a pretty long series, so if I enjoy it, I have quite a few books to keep reading in here. I am pretty sure this is an urban fantasy. That's kind of the vibes I'm getting. And also while we were in Scotland, when we went up to St. Andrews for a golf tournament, I stopped by this little bookstore that was so cute and I absolutely loved it and picked up The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. This is the deluxe illustrated UK edition, and I just really like the UK covers of these books better. I like that they wrap this one in plastic so it's nice and protected, and I'm just really excited to now have both of the books out in this series in this version. So like I said before, adult high fantasy, magical university, kind of almost unreliable narrator as it's being told from the perspective of our main character when he's older. I just adore these books so much. So good. Plus, this version is just so pretty. And while I was in the London area, I was able to meet up with a couple friends. The first one that I hung out with was Abby from the channel Abby Salter. We went around to a lot of bookstores and I had no chill. It was kind of a problem. But one of the books I picked up was Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. It looks like the cover does something with Google Lens as well. I'm gonna definitely have to check that out because I love that when they do it on covers. This is a fantasy Regency romance, if I'm not mistaken, with a very fairy tale-esque feel to it. I'm really excited. I hope it does the kind of the fantasy Bridgerton vibes, and I have heard good things about it. I also hear that there are going to be more books coming out. It's kind of going to be almost like a companion novel series of fantasy Regency romance, and I'm so excited for that. So looking forward to reading this, and this is probably going to be one that I read sooner rather than later. I hope, because it has a more summery feel to it, in my opinion. I also picked up Juniper and Thorne by Ava Reed. This is her newest release. She's the author of The Wolf and the Woodsman, and I have heard amazing things about this book. It's a dark fantasy fairy tale retelling, I believe. It has a fairy tale feel to it, but I hear it is very dark, but just amazingly written, and that's something I definitely want. I'm not trying to learn anything about the plot. I want to go into this practically blind, but it just sounds like something that I'm going to absolutely love, and I didn't really like the US cover of it, and so I wanted to get the UK cover, so I was over there, I picked it up, and oh, I'm just so excited to read this. This is definitely going to be a fall read for me, but I am almost 100% sure I'm going to get to it this year because I am that excited about it. This is a book that wasn't exactly on my radar, but I found it and just really kind of called to me, and that is Daughter of Red Winter by Ed McDonald. This was at Forbidden Planet, which I love, by the way. It's kind of a nerd's dream. It is signed by the author, and I have seen one person on TikTok having read this book and absolutely loved it, said it was a very unexpected read and she liked it so much more than she thought she would. So that's all I know going into it. Adult high fantasy though, I do also know that, but this one again gives me the read it in the winter vibes, so I'm probably going to be reading this later this year. Maybe it's because it says winter in the title, I don't know, but this one just looks really good. I don't know anything about it, but I'm going off of vibes here, again. And the final book I picked up while I was with Abby is The Final Strife by Sarah L. Arifi. And this book has been getting a lot of really good reviews. I've seen some that say it's just okay, but most people are absolutely loving this book. And I really, really like the UK cover of this, which is one of the reasons I got it. Plus, I like the end papers of it. I think they're stunning. And this one is signed by the author. So all good things for this copy that I picked up from Waterstones, which I was so excited to go there. I've seen people in the UK go there so much, so I finally got to go and I loved it. But this one I know a little bit more about. There are some trials that are happening and they are competing to become the wardens or the rulers of their land. So magical trials, I am all for that. I love magical competition, so I'm definitely excited to jump into this one. I think I'm going to love it and it just sounds so good. And since I had absolutely zero chill while I was with Abby, I definitely had to pace myself a little bit more when I went with Sophia, who's the other booktube friend that I met up with in London, and I limited myself to only one book. I felt like I did pretty well, and that one is The Dance Tree by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. This is also from Forbidden Planet, which I love that store. It is a signed limited edition. I really like the cover. I think it's so pretty. It's signed. It has a little bee on it, which I think is so cute. And in this book, there's a really hot summer happening and people start to just dance in the streets or around this tree. Maybe it might be around a tree. It would fit. And there is a woman who's trying to kind of uncover the secret of this town while all these people are dancing. Honestly, the premise wouldn't have pulled me in necessarily, but the cover did, and I think I might like it. I feel like it's gonna have some dark fantasy vibes to it, which I really do love. And this one has kind of a fall feel to it as well. So I'm really excited for this one. It's so beautiful. Okay, now we're going to be jumping into the special edition section of this book haul, and we have The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy. This is the Fairy Loot Adult July pick for their bookish subscription box, and I have no idea what this is about. Honestly, this isn't a book that was really on my radar. It's not one that I was really interested in, so I was not super excited when we got it. I feel like the Adult Fairy Loot is picking books that I wouldn't necessarily gravitate towards in my adult fantasy. They're more like new adult leaning for most of them, which is a little bit disappointing. I do like it. I think the cover is really pretty. It has these really nice sprayed edges, exclusive end papers. It is signed by the author, and it does have foiling on the naked hardback. So all of the things that they did, all of the special customizations, I really do enjoy, but this just isn't really a book that I was really interested in. I might end up reading it if I'm in the mood, but it's not high on my list. Next, we have the June Illumicrate book, which is We All Fall Down by Rose Sabo. I have not heard anyone like this book, and I've heard some maybe controversial things about it, so I don't know if I'm going to be reading it or not. It is very pretty. I absolutely love this edition. My favorite part is these sprayed edges, so that's definitely what's going to be showing on my bookshelf. It is signed by the author, and there's really nothing on the reverse. But obviously these sprayed edges are the star of the show for this book, and I am really excited to put it up so that you can see those, but probably won't be reading it, I don't think. Next, I have the July Illumicrate, and that is The Drowned Woods. I had not heard about this. This is by Emily Lloyd Jones, and she also wrote The Bone Houses, which I own, but I haven't read either. I've heard really good things about that one, but I do really like this cover. I think it's very pretty. It has these sprayed edges, which are pretty, but not my favorite. It is signed by the author. It has foiling under the dust jacket, which I do really enjoy, but I think my favorite part of this customization is this artwork on the reverse of the dust jacket. I think it is gorgeous. I think it's absolutely stunning, and I am really thinking I might flip this cover around so I can see that one instead. I believe this book is an adult fantasy that is set in our world in Wales, and it follows this magic user who is being used by the royalty in order to win a war or to fight their enemies. That's about all I know. I think it sounds really good, but it wasn't one that was on my radar, so I don't know how soon I will get to it, but I do really love that reverse dust jacket art. Then we have the May Illumicrate, and this is Book of Night by Holly Black. This is her first adult high fantasy book, and this one, it might be an urban fantasy actually. It's an adult fantasy book, and it follows this character who uses shadow magic, which I think sounds absolutely amazing. I have heard mixed things about this, and that her writing still leans fairly YA in this book, so we'll see what I think. I am definitely going to be reading it this month because this is my Patreon buddy read for the month. This is the one that was chosen. I'm really excited to chat with you guys about it, see what everyone else thinks as well. The customizations on this one aren't the most phenomenal. It obviously was changed to this white and black instead of the original like blue and black. It has just plain black sprayed edges. It does have exclusive end papers, but they are fairly simple. And then it has this reverse, or this under the dust jacket art, which is really pretty. I absolutely love that. But overall, I got a version of this book in the Fairy Loot box, the adult one, and so having them doubled up, just a little frustrating. And the June adult Fairy Loot book is Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. I feel like this is another one that really wasn't on my radar. It's not one that I'm that interested in. This is witches that are working for the crown of England, I believe. And I like the customization's fine. It's just this, again, isn't one that I was really that interested in. This doesn't feel like that epic adult high fantasy that I was kind of expecting them to include in their box a little bit more, but we'll see where they go from here. I'm not unsubscribing quite yet, but here is what the customization looks like. It does have these sprayed edges that I do like. I enjoy the stenciled edges, and underneath it's bright pink with a goat. So I think the customizations are pretty cool. I just am not that interested in this book. It's not one that was on my radar, but we'll see. Maybe I'll end up reading it during like spooky season. And moving into Broken Binding subscription special editions, I have the final book in the First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie, Last Argument of Kings. This is the final book in that subscription, and it has this really pretty Under the Dust Jacket artwork. I love it. It has these stenciled edges that will make a picture when you put it alongside the other books in the series, and this is kind of like the original cover that these books came out in with a little bit of foiling added on. I feel like this is kind of minimal customization because these are the original covers. I do still really, really like them, and I love that they have the stenciled edges. I have not read the series. I'm really looking forward to it, but yeah, finally have completed this series. And the other two Broken Binding subscription books that I have are The Ninth Reign and The Bitter Twins by Jen Williams. This is the first and second book in her Ninth Reign series. I don't know if it has any other name besides that, but these are pretty much the original covers that these books had when they were published. I don't think they were ever published in hardback though. I could be wrong about that, but they have sprayed edges that are just solid blocks. Custom end papers. Are they signed by the author? I think they are. Yeah, they're signed and numbered editions. All of them are. And I really like this foiling. Oh, I need to take the cover off. I really like the foiling. Oh, gosh, I can't hardly show it. Underneath the dust jacket. I think it is so pretty. That is what they did so well with that. And here's the second book. Block sprayed edges. I kind of like the orange, even though it doesn't fit as well as I would think. Again, end papers, signed and numbered. And under the dust jacket, you can see that awesome foiling. So I'm really excited to read this series. I think I'm going to read the paperback versions I already have because I don't want to ruin these ones. But yeah, very excited about these. I really like the series that the Broken Binding has chosen so far. Another special edition series that I purchased is the Diviner series by Libba Bray. I got these from the Bookish box, which I've had not the greatest experience with. It's not the best, but whatever. As you can see, the second book is missing, so there should be a completed picture there, which I think would be really cool once it's done. They do have these stenciled edges on them, which I really like, and I actually really like the covers. I think they're very pretty. The foiling is gorgeous. They have quotes on the back. Here's the third book, which I love. I think it's so pretty. And then here's the fourth book as well. So yeah, I really like that series. I wish I had the full set, but they said they will be sending the third book out when they get it. I don't know. Something happened in shipping. So you'll see that one in another book haul, I'm sure. And the final books in this book haul, more special editions. We have, oh gosh, this is so hard to show you, but I want you to see them in their beauty. And gosh, can't hold them up. It's the Bridgerton series, but look at those spines. Oh my gosh, the spines make the most gorgeous picture. Focus on me again. There we go. And I am just so excited about these books. They are gorgeous. They're foiled. They're absolutely stunning. I'll show you one of them just so you can like kind of see, but I love them. Okay, so this is the Viscount Who Loved Me, which is the most recent season of Bridgerton is based off of this book. It's the second one, and look at the bee. Oh my gosh, I love it. It's so pretty. It's just, I think it's just gorgeous. It has the cute sprayed edges. All of them are different colors. They make a rainbow. I am so excited about these books. I haven't even read any of the books in the series. I do really enjoy the TV show, but I just cannot wait to get into them and see these books on my shelves. I love them. They're so pretty. They bring me joy. So yeah, definitely looking forward to putting these up and displaying them because they're so gorgeous. And that is the end of my book haul. Holy cow, that was so many books. It was a little out of control, and I feel like I need to not wait so long between book hauls, but I didn't really have this many books before I left on vacation. I feel like several books came in the mail, several special editions came while I was gone, and then I did get books on vacation. So it was kind of like they just dumped in July, and I had to do this book haul because otherwise I was not going to have enough room for them down on my book haul shelves. So let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books, if there's any you think I should definitely prioritize because you know my taste and you know what I'm gonna like. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button down below and the bell icon so you'll be notified when I post new content, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!